Hey Armor, I am just answering your questions, actually. What is up? The second question that you had was to do with straight headstock or angled headstock for a six string multiscale. Now, it's a good thing that you're here, Armor, because I need to ask you to clarify that question a bit. Do you mean angled as in uh, angle this way, so sideways angle, or do you mean angled versus a scooped headstock? So basically, what I have on the base there, or I can't really dig one out. So basically, what I have on the base there, or a scoop like you would get on a fender. Which one did you mean with your question? The second way. So a scoop or an angle. Okay, cool. So yeah, straight headstock is what you mean by scoop. So the fender style, right? Because the reason I ask is because I actually have a video where I go in depth about multiscale angled headstock and why you do it, how to design it, and how to get it correct. And that's more to do with because you have a fan going like this, your nut line or your end of the fretboard ends at an angle as well. If you would just have a single angle like you have on here, then you will get a sort of empty space that you need to fill up, which in my opinion looks kind of weird and odd, like it shouldn't be there. So you need to have your angle going this way as well. But if you're now talking about an angle like this, or then a scooped headstock, as if you would have on a, I need to go get a neck. Oh crap. Snapped off a little bit of binding. Need to fix that. Anyway, so a scoop versus an angled headstock when it comes to multi-scale six strings. Basically, with an angled headstock like this, like I explained already, roughly, I have a video on this as well, where if you have just a single angle like this, which goes to one point on, because this is now a single line, like so. So of course you have the angle going from that single point onwards. If you have a multiscale, you have an angle here. So you need to have two different starting points for the angle on your headstock. And when you join those two angles, you end up getting a headstock that goes like this instead of straight like that. I hope I'm explaining this somewhat clearly enough. But instead of having a flat surface like that you see right here, it would more be like this. I'm making that overly exaggerated. Now, with a scooped headstock, so like this, the quote-unquote fender style, if you have an angled fretboard, so a multiscale, basically the only thing that changes is just your scoop goes like that. But otherwise, your headstock is completely the same. You just need to bear in mind that you're going to have a lot more space on this, on the treble side than you are on the bass side. So basically that scoop will just extend, so that then creates the sort of angle that you will get on normally single angled headstock. So basically, when it boils down to it, you don't actually see too many scooped headstocks with multiscale, but to my ear, that sounds easier to do than doing the angle. Both are relatively easy if you know what you're doing, but it's just by explaining it, it for some reason sounds like a lot less work. There's a lot less for you to figure out with this kind of headstock.